Hey everybody, this is Andrew, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Again, sorry for the long delay. I have a little bit of busyness, and it was raining over the week. I tried to stream sometime, but because of the rain coming pouring down, I kinda lost mood. Sorry about it. But again, I try to finish up before the end of the year. But what we say, we just continue. Or should I say, let's start the new chapter. So, without further ado, let's start the Great Ace Attorney to Resolve, Episode 4, Twisted Karma and his last bow. Oh, sorry, but yeah.
Pipe in hand, Shomles looked down at the thick, rolling fog outside our window. I wonder exactly how many mysteries are out there, hidden within this bed of fog, he said. Indeed, a most bizarre incident, born of a curious advertisement. A hellhound's mad gallop through the shadows of a serial murder.
Is that a red-headed
An
leak?
executed man's graveyard resurrection in the dead of night. And a commonplace killing in a small, forgotten room at the edge of town. There is, naturally, always another side to every case, of which most remain ignorant. And it is that other side which compels me to the scene of the crime, Wilson. So quickly now, take your hat and let's be on our way, my dear fellow. For our adventure is not over yet. Come, the game is afoot.
Alright, let's see what is this going on. There's a lot of unanswered questions from the previous case, so hopefully we can know what's going on after that. 8 days after the earth-shattering trial and Kazuma's regaining his memory, we were in the foyer of one of London's most luxurious hotels, the Great Waterloo Hotel. 1st November, 10:24 a.m. Great Waterloo Hotel foyer. Professor Mikotoba is due to arrive at any moment. Yes, I'm so glad we got here in time. Susato-san hasn't been the same since what happened. Not that I'm surprised. The truth about Kazuma-san's father. Do you suppose my father knew that he was actually the mass murderer of the professor, you mean? I knew that's what she was thinking about. There's a good chance, I say. I mean, they did come here to London together 16 years ago, didn't they? Yes, that's true. Come to think of it, didn't you say that Professor Mikotoba knew about Kazuma going missing in Hong Kong as well? That's right, but for some reason he wasn't at liberty to talk to me about it. That probably means he knows that. About Kazuma's showing up here in London with amnesia, and that he regained his memory now. Well, technically he did not know the memory part, but yeah, I think amnesia is you get the idea. Ah, there she is. Ah, there she is! Oh, father! Hello, Susato. How are you? I'm very well, thank you. We're delighted you arrived safe and sound. Hello, Mr. Naruhodou. Very kind of you to take the trouble to meet us here. Oh, no, not at all. It's my pleasure. We heard all about your extraordinary exploits here in London, you know. The news had crossed the seas. It has? I always look forward to reading the monthly reports that arrive with the steamship from Britain. I see. Well, thank you very much. Who the hell is this guy? Did you really forget the judge who nearly tried to send you Did you really forgotten a year ago? Anyway, sorry. And why do I feel as though I've seen him before? Because he's the first guy who... Because he's the Japanese judge.
I take it from your expression you can't quite place me. In that case, how about a little reminder, Shishiro? A thumb tap should do it. Yes.
Thumb tap? What?
Here we go. Pull my shirt. Look at my hammer. I hereby pronounce the Devavandu no Sonosuke Naruhodou who have forgotten about me. Guilty! You lose!
Oh, fuck! No. Yeah.
Yep, it's me. You really forgotten me, do you? The card will now hear the trial of Naruhodou Naruhodou.
Your Excellency? Hello, Judge Jigoku. How are you? It's been a long time.
Good, you remember now. That really did the trick. I knew bringing my personal toy hammer would be good. Yes, this toy, don't worry about it. Guilty, ha 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 ha.
Only I was declared not guilty, wasn't I? And there was no laughing at that time.
Anyways, so London here again after all this time. Hard to believe it's been 10 years. To be honest, I have never thought I'd be back.
Oh, so you've been here before? Neither did I.
I didn't imagine Japan would ever be invited to an international symphony like this. Though really, I doubt anyone did, to be honest. It all thanks to you, isn't it, Shishiro? What are you talking about, Eugene?
Of course, Judge Jigoku. You must complete the set. He's the other man who 16 years ago came to London with Kazuma's father and Professor Mikotoba. He's the third visiting scholar.
Well,
All the passport checks and luggage search at the border took a rather long time.
I must say, I'm very envious to you ministerial status. You didn't have to go through all of that, didn't you? Ah, I knew you were jealous. Ha ha ha! Come on, it was first class.
Sorry? Ministerial status? Yes, did you know Shishiro here is also Japan's Minister of Foreign Affairs? Excuse me a second. I thought I heard something. Give me a second. Yeah, sorry about it. I thought it was a phone there. Anyways, moving on, sorry.
It was his personal instance that allowed you to take Kazuma's place here on the study tour. Guilty as charged! Ha 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 ha!
Oh, well, thank you very much. He's really every bit as important as he looks.
Ah, yes, now Naruto. I received a telegram from Strongheart yesterday.
Oh, you did?
It appears that some things came to light in the trial you were involved with 8 days ago. About what happened 10 years ago. That tragedy.
Yes. Could you tell us more about it? Before that. Hey guys, look! Look at my badge! Professor Mikotoba, I wonder, could I show you something?
Why do you seem so nervous?
I suppose because I'm a student showing something to a professor, that's always quite nerve-wracking.
Well, I'm sorry I put you in that way, but anyways, I'm afraid I have nothing useful to say about. Oh, come on, really.
I want to look around first before. Wow, this place is large. Look at the cases just left there on the trolley. Aren't they worried about thieves? I know I am. Haven't you seen the porter over there? Don't worry, he's obviously keeping an eye on everything. So it's a trap designed to catch any catchers who might be tempted. Oh, what the hell are you doing here? Aren't you Juror 5, the one who worked in the omnibus? What the hell are you doing here? Why did the party give me such scattering looks just now, teacher support?
That's because in your case, you got me fired.
Well, some might say you look a little suspicious with your jet black coat. Not everyone clad in black is some sort of ninja with intent to steal, you know. I mean, I want to wear the other kind of English clothing that Iris gave me, but it seems I rather prefer wearing this. That desk is known as the hotel's reception. Anyone wanting to spend the night has to report there to sign in for their stay. Oh, so you think there's a head cloud behind the desk there? Yes, I'm sure it must be. I'd love to stay in the Grand Hotel like this for a little while, wouldn't you? Just to know what it's like. If the hotel fee was paid through our stipend, I'm afraid it might bankrupt our homeland. True, London gives the word expensive a whole new meaning. Seriously, what the hell is that porter guy doing there? I mean, isn't he juror number 5? Guys, anyone? Can anyone please clarify this? Never mind. Anyways, this is done. Have you seen all the sparkling jewels up there? There must be have gathered every gem in the world for that. It's called a chandelier, I believe. It's designed to provide elegant lighting in large spacious rooms like this. So they have to gather every gem in the world just to illuminate one room. It's probably electric light bulbs that are actually throwing the light. If I try to hang something like that from the ceiling in the office, it will be scraping on the floor. I think perhaps chandeliers aren't for you, Mr. Naruhodou. What the hell is it? Look at that picture. It's the picture of the Crystal Tower. Well, the Great Exhibition is one of the greatest, most prestigious achievements in recent years. I wonder how tall it is. It really does represent the pinnacle of scientific achievement in so many ways. There's a 20-meter tall chimney on the bathhouse near my lodgings at Yumin University. The attendant there is always boasting that it's the tallest object in the neighborhood. I'm sure, did you know that over the channel in Paris there's a tower that's 300 meters tall? It's named the the Eiffel Tower. What? How many times taller than the chimney at Yumi Sokin's hot spring is that? And if it's that tall, how does it drop properly? The smoke will get stuck surely. I don't think it's sort of tower, Mr. Naruhodou. Yeah, okay, I think I'm done. Okay, I'm done.
Are you done yet?
You're journey from Japan. So, how was the voyage here?
Well, 50 days at the sea is a long time by anyone's standards. But it wasn't as bad as when we first came 60 years ago. No, that's true. Then I truly wondered if we wouldn't be drifting in the vast ocean for the rest of our lives. Trust me, having to eat the gruel, and those kind of soup, you don't even want to know. This time we followed the same route as you, so we were able to relax and enjoy experience. Yeah, this is what happens when we got first class. Thanks to Jigoku again.
So you stopped in France's beautiful capital, Paris.
We did, yes, though only for one night. And yesterday evening we left the port of Turkey for October. Just in time for the symposium. In fact, it starts tomorrow.
It's wonderful that you were invited to attend such an important international event. I'm very proud of you, Father.
It's thanks to Shishio here. 16 years ago, he managed to integrate himself with British Attorney General. I'm sure that's why he was invited, and I suppose you could say I'm something of an appendage by default. So speak for yourself, Eugene. You were close friends with the professor of forensic science at the major hospital.
Yes, well, I'd rather not dredge out that I really... Oh,
Sorry, yeah. There's been a lot of water on the bridge since then, but it doesn't bring him back.
Kazuma's father, I suppose. Yeah, about that. The professor, the killer who took the lives of 5 members of the British aristocracy, was actually Kazuma's father, wasn't he?
Yes, correct. Genshin Asogi.
Genshin. You knew, I presume, father?
Yes. He was a close friend at the time. Genshin came to Britain as a police detective. He was studying investigative techniques at Scotland Yard. I never understood what drove the man to commit such heinous acts. It was a closed trial, so the public never knew the truth, and was executed a little ado. To this day, the very people know what really happened, even now in our homeland.
But what about Kazuma? Did he know? Did he know the truth about his father?
No, of course. He was told of his father passed from sickness. However, I suspect he may have his doubts.
Oh, why?
As you know, I tried to guide Kazuma growing up as if he was my own son. Then one day, he came to my office at the university and said, I decided I want to travel to Great Britain and study there.
Do you think he wanted to come here to investigate his father's death?
I don't know. But when I looked into his eyes, I did know that there was no way I'd be able to stop him.
Something else that came to light in the trial the other day, actually.
Oh, what?
Well, having disappeared in Hong Kong and been missing for almost a year, Kazuma-san since turned up here in London, working as the apprentice of Lord Van Zeeks.
What? Honey, that's news to us.
So, Lord Strongheart telegram neglected to mention that part then. Yeah. Oh, so that means they did not know. I thought they knew about that part. Oh wait, because the fact it was end of the trial, so they did not know about that part. Oh wait, no. I think they didn't say about the Kazuma part. Nah, never mind. Sorry about it. It's been a long time. Sorry. As you know, we both thought Kazuma had died on the steamship during our voyage to Great Britain in January. But he didn't die. He's alive. As you knew, he didn't you, father?
In actual fact, no. What they did know is that when your ship docked in Hong Kong, he mysteriously vanished. We sent a team of investigators to Hong Kong to try to assert what had happened, but no avail. But he's still alive, and here in London, you say? I never dared to even dream of it. Why on earth did the young man not make contact? The government and police have been chasing clues fruitlessly for months now.
Well, it seems he was suffering from amnesia.
What? Amnesia?
When we first came across him again here in London, he didn't know who either of us were.
I see.
He only regained his memory 8 days ago.
This is unbelievable.
Yes,
it was quite miraculous. I wonder why Lord Strongheart didn't let us know. I must speak with him urgently.
I wonder how Kazuma's been these few past days. Would it be wrong for us to go and visit him? Yeah, your time in Britain.
That began. So you want to know the story? Well, that began 60 years ago now, in distant memory, really. It was Eugene here, Genshin, Asogi, and myself. We were the original trip. The first judicial scholars from Japan to travel overseas to study. Ocean voyages were not what they are today, I can tell you.
16 years ago, things were tough for their generations.
Your father was an exceptionally fine medicine student at Yume University at the time, you know, young lady?
Yes, grandmother told me.
He wanted to do research at the Great London Hospital to study autopsy, practically unheard of in Japan.
Yes, it was an eerie place sandwiched between the back of the prison and the burial ground.
Not to talk about Grace. Very often, there's no one willing to deal with dead bodies following autopsy work. So you see, autopsy labs have something of an unavoidable relationship with graveyards and prisons. Not my cup of tea though. Do you remember the Scottish prison government? Kaiden, his name was. He was a good man. Yes, but then of course, on our 6th year here, everything changed with that dreadful case. When Genshi was arrested for a series of the most gruesome murders. I simply couldn't believe it. I know the man for years. I was a witness at the secret hearing and I tried to speak in his defense, but you went a little too far and up facing charges yourself, did you? Well, sufficient to say after the trial was sent back. Sufficient to say that after the trial we were sent back to Japan. At least they didn't ask me to pay for the damages. Wait, what? There was nothing more we could save Genshin. He was a lost cause, sadly. Well, if you'd excuse us now. Yes, I'd like to get this trunk up to my room as soon as possible. Oh, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have held you up here for so long. I call the porter then. Just wait here. Susato-san gone and run off. I'd like to stay and talk more, but I do have various preparation to make for tomorrow. Yes, of course. It must be a big responsibility representing our entire country. I wish you the best of luck. Naruhodou, I hope you keep an eye on Susato for me. Keep looking after her as you obviously have been. Oh, no, I mean, if anyone's looking after anyone, it's her looking after me. Yeah. Well, I do appreciate you being there for her. After all, I've been a miserable father to her. I totally let her down. So, what do you mean? Well, it was 16 years ago that I started my long study tour here in Britain, as you know, the very year Susato was born. Yes, I heard. The birth of my daughter was the most joyous event of my life, but well, sadly, it accompanied by the most tragic event of my life too. Oh, yes, Susato-san hinted at something like that. It was a rather turbulent time at home. Anyway, I won't bother you with the detail. The point is, I became a rather less dependable than befits a grown man, and it was then that Seychelles offered me the opportunity to study here in Great Britain. I too was worried about you to leave behind, so perhaps I was a little heavy-handed when it came to persuading you to accompany me to London. So, that's what happened in a nutshell, and that's also the reason why I now feel compelled to give my daughter as many opportunities as I dare. Though the world does not really afford young women such things, I must say. I completely understand that, Professor. I mean, I remember the time that Susato told me that she had to dress as a man to. Another thing, Naruhodou. If I may be so, I have a favor to ask you. Oh, really? Of course. What can I do for you? Well, the thing is, I'm so sorry that takes you so long. Miss Susato, now then, how long does it take your bags? Allow me to take your bags. One moment, if you please, Porter. Of course, sir. That machine around your neck, is it? It's a camera, I believe. Quite right, sir. Just 5 shillings for a lovely photograph to commemorate a wonderful stay in this hotel, sir. Well, I think given the occasion, we could justify the expenses. Yes, of course. Smile. I'd like to thank you for coming with me, Miss Naruhodou. It's really made my father very happy, I think. Oh, well, I am pleased then. But we were in trouble before. Oh, God. Oh, wait, before then, can I really see? I'm writing thinking that these skills are simple difference, but wait, this is I think the same thing. It's supposed to be simple treating everything equal and fair.
That's what they always say in the middle. Balance, equal measures on both sides. Reason though. But whenever I see a set of scales, I can only think of the enormous scale of justice. That's entirely understandable. They are such powerful symbol in the courtroom, aren't they? And the thing about scales of justice is, they are always leaning one way or the other. They only ever balance right at the start. It might be something peculiar to the British. I'm afraid I can't shed any light on it, Miss Naruhodou. It's very fine embroidery here that shows the name of an armband only. In that case, Kazuma Asugi. So I'm always carrying my best friend's hope and dreams with me on my right arm just here all the time. To be honest, it's something that weighs on very heavily to me. Oh, I didn't realize it was such a burden, Miss Naruhodou. Yes, I think it's on my right shoulder. It aches so much. Are you sure that's not to do with your reading in bed? Like, no. I mean, we look at what happened in college. Anyways, moving on. Sorry. Professor Mikotoba was about to ask me something. Shall we return to Baker Street then? I expect Iris will have some delicious tea waiting for us. Yes, let's go. I'm getting more and more anxious about Kazuma though. Perhaps I'll try to meet with Lord Strongheart later and ask after him. Well, okay, since that's the case, we're Waterloo Hotel. So let's go upstairs and see if she's there. Plus, no one's there. My check. Okay, well, the spade is still here. Look, please, Master Naruhodou, it's not a spade, as I tell you well. No, it's a shovel. It didn't take long to reignite that old argument. I have an idea. Let's give the implement a name like Professor Harebrain's name his dudes. Ooh, I never thought of doing that. From now on then, let's call it Ryunosuke. No, it's clearly much more of Susato. The old argument has taken a new and unexpected turn, it seems. Okay, I think I'm back to spades and shovels. Hey, this is new. This new? Man, that's just as what was left before. Sumi ink and calligraphy brush, even though we are in Ingo now. That strikes me as typical use, Mr. Susato, and typically not you at the same time. Well, I do enjoy all the wonderful new things to come out of the West in the Cultural Revolution, of course. But I'm not ready to give up my brush just yet. And anyways, Susato-san can write more neatly with a brush than most people can with a pen. Practice makes perfect, as they say. Okay, I think we just... Let's go to Shomles. Okay, Rebecca's home suite. What the Nani the fuck is that? A man screaming in the most unflattering way. You think? Could it have been Mr. Shomles? Oh my, I do hope not. Wait, is this guy the red-headed league? What? Yeah, okay. For the fun fact, I actually read some of Sherlock Holmes' short stories, and this is the Red-Headed League. I think maybe the names have changed, so... I do not do it anymore! Mon ami! Okay, so we got a French and... Italian question mark? Stop this display. Who are these people? Look at their hair, it's bright red. I think they must be clients for Mr. Shomles. But Gina's here! Right, you two, you're coming with me now, down to the clink! No, not in prison! It is dark and dumb and I don't like it at all! Boof! The Zagnus! It is my plan, I am not scared. You always claim to scare the dog, you little shit! Shut your mouth, you idiot! I would sit by in the dark and plan our next daring heist. I don't like it at all. Well, tough. We'll finish down the yard now. Get moving. Ooh. Whoop. He fainted. My genie. My dear genie, have fun. Oh yes, thanks Iris, and thanks. You're a great detective. Okay, what the heck was that? Gina, he's a fine detective, isn't he? Oh, Cece and Reno. Hello Iris, we're home. Well, did you find your daddy? Yes, we arrived at the hotel just before he and his friend. Oh, well, that's great news. I hope I get to see my daddy again soon. Yes, of course. Dr. H. John Watts. So Iris, all that remains now is the greatest of the problem known to man. Oh, come on. Why the hell are you red with these guys? Did you get yourself scammed? Okay, I think we need to check for any underground tunnels here. But before we concern ourselves with that, I believe some tea in order. Don't you mind, my dear fellows? Is something wrong, Mr. Naruhodou? Do I have a crumb or such like on my face? Not so much in your face as on your head, I say. Come along then, everyone. I brew a lovely special blend. Time for tea. What is going on here today? That's what I'd like to know. In that case, let us sit and drink now. For I am the fact, expecting guests later today. Before that, I wonder what's on today's newspaper. This looks like last week's edition. What's with the article circle in red ink there? It's an advertisement column. It says, "To the Red-Headed League." Yeah, I knew it was. The Red-Headed League. What's that? I don't know. I never heard of it before, but... Is something on my face? Clearly, this has something to do with that lively hair. Hey, thank you. I might check it later after. Hey, this must be Asogi mask. The mask Kazuma wore while he was assigned to Lord Benzig's enigmatis. When he cast it aside after the trial the other day, I just sort of picked it up. I mean, the bailiff was going to score me to pick it up, like, so I have no choice. Now they give it back. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. We ought to give it back to him, I suppose. But he has his memory back now, doesn't he? And I can't help feeling he might turn around and tell me to call it to wear myself. But isn't he your best friend? Your BFF? I wonder what's today's menu. This black boy is where I scribble her latest invention ideas, is it? Let's see. Oh, she seems to have drawn a lot of little six figures all lined up. Look. Cheap apples at the market is what all they say. What? The little figures can speak. All your questions will be answered if only you were to read this month's Rand's magazine. So I'm the only one who can't make sense of this. Ugh. Hey, nice duck! If I remember correctly, this lush and imposing lump of iron is called a typewriter. To think that every single one of the adventures of Sherlock Holmes blossomed from this very machine. It's such a dreamy thought. I actually had to go on it the other day. The metal bars that moved when you hit the keys got all tangled up somehow and made Iris angry, and she nearly used me as an explosion. Miss Naruhodou, you're ruining my dreamy thoughts. Please don't do that again. Now I made Susato angry as well. Oh, thank God I didn't get Susato tossed. Nothing special. Hey, you got the back of the machine. But anyways, okay. Mr. Shomles, what were those two gentlemen that were here before? Oh, just a pair of petty criminals. Nothing of significance. Of course, they will have to make the living somehow. And when the mood takes me, I'm willing to turn a blind eye to all matters of infraction. When the mood takes you, all manner of infraction, sorry. But when such fellows set the sights on Mr. Sherlock Holmes, well, That's when their luck runs out. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to call it Sherlock Holmes. Screw that. But if I call Sherlock Holmes, then it's just habit. Oh my, you were targeted to criminal, Mr. Holmes? But I quickly devised a plan to interrupt them and deliver them to our young detective ally. You should see. You should ask Pixie to come too. We could have an arresting tea party.
Ah, yes, we want fish and chips. Though,
I did send word, but no answer was forthcoming. The man is consummately in the wrong place at the wrong time. There's a word for it, I'm sure. I think he's probably in France. I have it. A bungler. That's the word. It's a good job that he's not here to hear. It's a good job he's not here to hear you say that. So those red hats have been up to no good. I wonder what the man did. The greatest problem. What was that about the greatest problem known to man that you mentioned it before? Is it another finished instruction case, Mr. Shomles? How should I best explain it? Are you aware of the theory of evolution by natural selection, perchance? Well, I think I've heard or talk of it somewhere, possibly. It's a revolutionary scientific theory that was nearly proposed 40 years ago now. According to its author, Mr. Darwin, we humans were once apes who lived in the treetops. Wait, what? We were apes? Indeed, and from the very moment those apes descend from the canopy to live as humans, it has been our lot to be at the mercy of the greatest problem known to man. Our lot? What is the great problem, Mr. Shomles? Why, it is not obvious, my dear madam. The problem of rent! But did you not receive a rather large sum of money from mental dispel only the other day? Pshaw, a lost sum? One potted herb for Iris and a new motor car for me later, and all it has quite disappeared. I should. You spent it all! Honestly, Harry, you know you squared it. I mean, who the hell did you buy that motor car for? Not for that large sum of money. Yes, well, 2 days ago, I discovered the answer to man's greatest problems, for the coming month at least. And what was the answer? Why, there is a substantial clue before your very eyes. Don't tell me, let me see. Humans are sorry creatures unable to see what's in front of their noses. Let me give you some assistance. Don't look, but observe me very closely. There is one particular feature about my person that has changed. You should notice at the end, I think the red hair. In the end. It's been stabbing me in both eyes right now from the very beginning of our conversation. Oh yeah. I think we might need another clue before we uncover the full answer in this novel. Oh, come on, really now? Thanks for the hint. I'll be tearing my hair out if this charade goes much any longer. Hold on. Yeah, it must be this thing. Oh, wait. To the Red-Headed League. Just to make sure that... Yeah, that's right. On account of the bequest of the late Eskiel Hopkins of Labor PA USA, there is now another vacancy open which entitles a member of the League to a salary of £4 a week for purely nominal services. All red-headed men who are sound in body and mind are above the age of 21 years are eligible. Apply to in person on the morning of the 31st at the Park of Lime Street. Get £4 per week if you are a redheaded. A most fascinating money-making opportunity. So that's what it's all about. Hey Holmes. Is this what we're talking about? It looks like there's someone stuck an advertisement in this paper, Mr. Holmes. To the Red-Headed Lily. Does this strike you in some way? I was thinking that just maybe it might be related to your bright red hair. So, at last you learned to apply my methods, Miss Naruto. Sorry. In the first instance, I'm quite indispensable observation. Believe me, I could have seen the hair in my eyes shut. So then, I'd like to regale you with the detail of my latest exploits. Regale or boast? So what is the red-headed lead, which seems to be the subject of the advertisement you circle? You notice in the paper then? That, my dear fellow, was going to be the source of this month's rent payment. It was how? According to the advertisement, the Red-Headed League is a distinguished institution of fellow of unspecified governments. In fact, the only condition of becoming a member is having a red hair. That doesn't entirely surprise me. But listen to what the lucky redheads receive once they join. An unconditional salary of £4 a week. Oh my, £4 a week? But why? Why are they paying people for? That I do not know. No details are given in the advertisement. But surely every red-headed person in the country would be flocking to join in that case. You're right, Susie. There's no time to lose. I'll put my applicants at once. So I will, just off the chance. That might be stretching at a point, I think. The trouble is, they have a fixed number of members, so you see. Oh, I see. So once a certain number of people have joined, no one else can. But as luck would have it, one member recently passed away. It wasn't particularly lucky for a redhead in question, I feel, Mrs. Shomles. So you decided to try to join in his place? Correct. I mean, look at me. Have you ever seen such a red-headed fellow? No. So why? Why did it have to go so wrong? What on earth happened? A blunder, Mr. Naruto, though it pains me to admit. Okay, what the heck did you do this time? What did you actually do to your hair, Mr. Holmes? I'm glad you asked, Mr. Susato. What you see on top of my head is neither dye nor a hairpiece. I changed the color of my hair overnight. By the wonder of chemistry. Chemistry? I was conducting some research into the matter of rejuvenating spent tea leaves, and in the course of my work, I stumbled upon a potion that, where taken, turns one hair aflame like red. Would you like to try it? It will make every hair of your body perfect. Because now I'll take a pass. But Mr. Holmes, is it quite safe to drink? Surely it's bad for you, is it? Amateurs are always hampered by such fears. I should never doubt you, Holmes. You mean to say? But of course, to earn £4 per week, one must be prepared to turn a blind eye to a little danger. That degree of red signals more than just a little danger, surely. So anyways, Hurley left full confidence yesterday with his new red hair. For the Lime Street, where the red-headed league were interviewing prospectively new members. So what went wrong? The whole park was choked with red-headed folk, like a Costa Orange barrel. I queued for 8 hours solid before at last I reached the front. But when the panel of interviewers saw me, they immediately said, Mr. 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 Sherlock Holmes, are you in disguise to conduct an investigation? Apparently, they are not too stupid. So how did they manage to get the so-called is a bigger question. So I actually had no choice but to reply, "Shh! Don't give me that away." After which, I could do a little else but turn and leave. Then this morning, when I look in the mirror, irritation stirs within me. So I turned that pair into the police. Oh dear, I went a disaster for me and those two redheads. So to summarize it, you just make that. So meaning to say, you just managed to get them arrested, just out of anger. The lie you told, okay. Mr. Shomles, isn't it about time you told us the truth? Just over a week ago you said to us, I will now tell you something that of the first importance, my dear fellow. Great detectives are wont to lie. It would serve you well to remember that. That case about the SS Burya in January, Kazuma wasn't killed, and you knew he wasn't there at the time. So what was really going on? The fellow was unconscious for a very long time. If he hadn't regained consciousness when he did, his life would have never been more in mortal peril. Of course, a side effect of the prolonged comatose state was amnesia, as you know. It was a simple enough task to silence the crew. But how? After they carried him out of the cabin, I assembled them in the lobby area. Then I made them swear to leave him unconscious and have him unlaid from the ship in Hong Kong as a murdered corpse. Oh, how horrible. It was necessary to find some material with which to persuade the crewmen to keep their word, of course. But why? Why would he do it in the first place? I will be at liberty to elaborate in due course. But for the time being, I would like to reassure you. I didn't foresee subsequent events. What events? His disappearance in Hong Kong. Oh! I believe I may have made a gross error of judgment. Mr. Holmes. Mr. Holmes, you mentioned before that you were expecting a guest today. Oh, indeed, Mr. Susato, that is correct. Not one of those red-headed gentlemen that were here before. No, not at all. They were petty villains. The guest I am expecting is a client. Oh, a young gentlewoman who wishes to appoint the services of this great detective, no less. Oh, how wonderful, Mr. Holmes. You must stay and observe the fashion at which the great detective receives his customers. Must we? Okay, we're going to take our leave anyway. Bye-bye. No. I have you in my clutches now. We went. Just to have you in my clutches, redheads. The things I do for a living. 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 The hearty half laugh is masking rather sinister though, I feel. You know, the lady isn't due for another hour yet. Don't feel as though you must wait around if you have other things to do. Well, in that case, I'll see you later, Holmes. I'm going to go. Okay, see you later. We need to check with them. Hey, it's Van Zee and Strongheart. British Supreme Court. Lord Chief Justice. Office. Here's the file. Draft of the opening address for tomorrow's proceeding. I'll supplement your original with the figures you asked for the yard. I see. Excellent. Thank you. You're welcome, my lord. What sort of things he's doing here? There seems to be an awful tension in the air, wouldn't you say? This place is stifling enough as it is. We really don't need any more tension. My apologies, I didn't notice you come in. Your small stature and dark dress make you all a bit invisible to me. Oh, no, it's entirely my fault for wearing black, I'm sure. From now on, you must dress in white from head to toe whenever you come here. No. I decline. No, dear Mr. Naruhodou. Yes, my lord. I'm right here. Kill me now. Is something wrong? Perhaps a little too hot in here for you? No, not at all. I mean, I never experienced a room at such a perfect temperature, even its cold air and its surroundings. And if you're sure, the beads of sweat carving their way down your face seems to suggest otherwise. Because of daggers you're staring at me with mainly. As you know, No doubt where my international forensic science synthesis begins tomorrow. In fact, your father arrived in London early today, I hear, madam. Oh, yes, that's right, my lord. He's extremely honored to have been invited. I leave the remaining preparation for the meeting to in your capable hands, then, Lord Van Zix. I will attend at once. Farewell. He gave you a very cold stare as he left, didn't he? I know, but I haven't done anything. Have I? These past few days, my feet has barely touched the ground, as I must say. On my dedicated right hand of many years, it was recently put out of action in spectacular fashion. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Is your left still answered? Mr. Naruhodou, he's talking about Dr. Side! Of course. Oh shit, yeah, I forgot about that. I'm sorry about it. I just doing my job. You're not done nothing wrong. Dr. Side's own wrongdoing precipitated the situation. You need to concern yourself with any further. That would be a lot easier to do if it weren't for the piercing stares you're giving me. Lord Van Zix is doing an admirable job of holding the fort, though disturbingly his apprentice had been missing since yesterday. Oh, missing? What's becoming of Kazuma-san now? Yeah, I'm thinking about... But anyway, well, before I continue, once again, if you like this video or on stream, give a like and subscribe. Anyways, moving on, sorry about it. The forensic science symposium. Not long ago, visitor numbers into the Great Exhibition exceeded 30 million. 30 million? Are there even that many people in the world? As comparison, Mr. Naruhodou, the population of the pure capital Tokyo is 2 million. I will be opening the International Forensic Science Symposium in the exhibition's main auditorium. This event had been 2 years in the making, 2 years of preparation and negotiations with other countries. It sounds like a tremendous achievement. Congratulations! The 20th century will see the wholesale adoption of forensic investigation techniques, and cooperation between policing organizations around the globe will be essential. Which is why this landmark first symposium had to be hosted here at the heart of our great empire, in order that Scotland Yard can become the leading investigation organization in the New World. He is the same as ever, I see. That passion of his and is quite something. You're every bit of passion in your own way, I'm sure of it, Mr. Naruhodou. I'm the only one in the country who truly cares about a future that embraces forest society. It was my intention to become Her Majesty's Attorney General and reform the Yard from the ground up. So the disgrace of the forensics investigation team has been a bit of a blow to my ambition, God. I first established the forensic investigation team a year ago, experimentally to start with. With Dr. Side at the helm, it was steadily acquiring an impressive record of achievement. I was on the verge of changing its name and elevating its status to a full-blown forensic investigation department. And can you not do that now? Obviously, nobody wants to hear anything about it at the moment. Even I can keep this story out of the papers. 6 million Londoners will be cursing forensic science now. This incident will set back our country's advancement in the field by a good 10 years, I say. Unintended repercussions for our trial. We simply couldn't have overlooked what had happened though. Of course not. We should have all be grateful to you both. Anyways, I still reform this country policing when I become Attorney General. This might delay my plans, but it won't alter them. Nothing will stand in my way. Okay, what happened to Kazuma? About Lord Vancy's apprentice. Ah, yes, that came as a surprise to me, I must say, that you and he are old friends. How did he become an apprentice to Lord Vancy in the first place? It came about 3 months ago. An unidentified Asian man was apprehended by border police. They found him hiding aboard a large wood vessel. Oh my, so he stole away to get here. He had no papers to identify him, no passport, and he was suffering from amnesia too. Other than that, he was clear of instant descent. There was no clue as to who he was, so I decided to assign him to Lord Fancy. That way I could keep an eye on him. But then, why the mask? I didn't want to burden Lord Fancy with tiresome explanation about why he had an Eastern apprentice, because it would be so much easier to explain why he was wearing a mask. He proved writing to be a great help to Lord Fancy. I have high hopes for his future. By the way, do you know where he's gone? No idea, but I believe he left London for the time being. Oh. I think you also didn't know that the man's father was one of our country's most infamous criminals, Genshin Asogi. What we learned from the trial 8 days ago was a huge shock, finding out my friend's father was... Ah yes, Genshin Asogi. The professor case 10 years ago caused a great stir here in Great Britain. It was such an awful murder, and unprecedented, using a ferocious dog as a murder weapon. And no one would have believed the couple was a foreign student invited to study here by the government. So the true identity of the killer couldn't be made public then, and can't be made public now. Nobody in your country knows it was him, and neither do the citizens of London. The main motivation was to avoid aggravations in relations between the two nations at the time, I understand. Correct. However, it has been noted that there were some supporters of the professor's apparent cause. What? Supporters of the mass murder? The majority of the man's victims were applied on the aristocratic of the day. Somewhat ironically, their deaths actually benefit society as a whole. Also, a fair few thinkers in London believe anyway. Right, I see. But it was still murder, wasn't it? It seems very similar, doesn't it? To the idea of the Reaper of the Bailey. Do I need to do something here, cause? Nah, I think this is not. Okay, let's go back to Holmes and see whether you got the customer or not. I'll be right back. Aha! Here is my guest at last, my latest client with the money to spend. Oh, I do have an exciting case, Holly. Remember, Iris, we are the present gripping by the greatest problem known to man. I must be willing to accept my case in any case, no matter how unstimulating. Safe, locating a runaway, of course. Don't spare anyone's feelings, will you? You got me into trouble last time. Oh dear, I'm afraid that Hurley can lack a little tact, especially just before the rent is due. Mr. Shaw... Wait, aren't you a druid from the previous episode? The previous case? Mr. Holmes, please. Please find my husband, he ran away. Oh, come on, really? Do upset me? I beg your pardon? Never mind, a personal matter. My apologies. What exactly are you trying to say, Mr. Naruhodou? I didn't say a word. Come, my dear madam, be seated. Iris, some tea if you please. Of course. What's the matter, Mr. Susato? Oh, it's just that gentlewoman. Are you sure I've seen her somewhere before? Yeah, you've seen her at the Jura there. Very recently. Yes, now you come to mention it. As I explained earlier, my name is Evil Vigil. Every Vigil. I implored you to take the case, sir. Money is no object, simply name your figure. Money and wealth are of little consequence to me, madam. Being offered a case to solve is a reward enough. Oh, Mrs. Holmes, you always got a picture of benevolence. I will of course make a mental note of your offer, however, for contingencies reasons. I trust you remember your words also. If I might inquire, sir, this gentleman and lady would be... me? What am I about to tell him? I should like to communicate in his strictest confidence. And you understand? Ah, these are my friends. I assure you, you may say before this pair anything which you may say to me. Ah, I see. I can vouch for this gentleman personally, after all. He's hard of hearing. Why do I even get my hopes up of you, you little piece of shit? Mrs. Vigil. Forgive me asking, Mrs. Vigil, but have we met somewhere before? Quite recently, perhaps? Oh my! Sure, my dear fellow, what is your intention? Clearly you have no ability to differentiate the facial features of England. If you were to invite a lady to tea, you must do so in a more gentlemanly fashion. Is it possible that you're the nice young lawyer from the trial I attended last week? Ah, I know I recognize her. Yeah, she's your too, I can't know. To have a man's fate in the palms of one's hands. Oh gosh, oh golly. Oh, this sends shivers in my spine. Yeah, it's that lady. I didn't quite recognize her because she's acting so differently now. It mustn't be very difficult for you as a lawyer, being hard of hearing, I mean. Nani? Oh dear, I'm so sorry. Don't worry if you can't hear. It was really I'm so going to strangle this guy. Now look what you have started, Mr. Holmes. Thank you very much. I believe it would be prudent for you to sit quietly in the corner. Yes. Okay. Tell us about your husband, madam. Mr. Vigil, my daily is 40 years of age. I have a photograph here. An entirely unremarkable gentleman by appearance, at least. How long have you been married? It will be 15 years. We have a cordial relationship, and my husband's income is more than adequate, so we live quite comfortably. As it would appear, I need only look at you to know these things. Oh gosh. Your dress is the latest style, your hat is clearly regular groomed, and your eyes are animated. In short, you have no inkling as to why your husband might have disappeared, correct? That's right. He's a kind man with a strong sense of loyalty, and he's rather dotes on me. Which would point to the possibility that he had become embroiled in some incident of ours. Oh, that's exactly what I fear must happen, Mr. Holmes. I'm quite beside myself. My husband's employment is somewhat unusual, you see. What if he's incurred some miscreants into ill will? What exactly is your husband's line of work? He's a warden at the prison. Oh god, that is somewhere original. So, your husband is a prison warden. That's right. Yes. Well, actually, in actual fact, he's the chief warden. Indeed, I see. Well, chief prison warden certainly qualifies as something of a specialized occupation. Yes, does indeed. My poor husband must prepare those dreadful punishments and see that they are carried out. Dreadful punishments. Does she mean capital punishment? And in such times he must occasionally spend a night or two in prison dormitory. But for that extra responsibility, he is remunerated more handsomely than the other wardens. Of course, we make no mentions of my husband's work to the neighbors. Yes, I believe your prudence is justified. Tell me, at what prison is your husband engaged? Barclay Prison, Mr. Holmes. Really? Barclay? Oh, a fine establishment. If I'm not mistaken, there is a large cemetery just behind it. Yes, that's correct. Lowgate Cemetery. No. Lowgate Cemetery, the very place we were discussing in court. That's unbelievable. Unbelievable, my dear fellow, and yet undeniable. Sorry, Mr. Holmes. I'm afraid you lost me. Ah, pay no heed, madam, pay no heed. A private matter. This can't really be a coincidence, can it? Your husband's disappearance. So, to the matter of your husband's disappearance, when did you realize he was missing? Please try not to laugh. It was yesterday. What? Yesterday? That really is reason. Laughable so. The truth is, my husband does at times have occasion to spend the night away for his work. It's not at all out of ordinary for him to not to return at home at night, but this is different. For him not to make any contact for a whole day, that certainly never happened before. Oh my dear Daly, what are you gonna happen to me? I'm home, darling. My dear Miss Virgil, please come yourself. Now then, have you contacted the police? Why, naturally, but sadly, they refuse to listen to my pleas as my husband has only been missing for 1 day. I was just to wait patiently at home. In truth, Mrs. Vigil, I concur with the police. However, let us not be hasty. I see no reason why we should not engage my deduction power to track your husband down anyway. Oh, thank you, Mr. Holmes. And furthermore, let me assure you, a chance to solve the greatest problem known to man for another month has no bearing on my decision. I seek only to put a sweet smile on another Londoner's face. That's really all there is to it. You have my eternal gratitude. I shall pay any sum you care to mention. No problem. Pay myself for your income day. What? Nothing. You seek only to put this suit's rental in your lady's purse. That's all there is to it. Thank you for everything you have shared us, Mrs. Vigil. I believe I have all the information I need to begin my investigation. Oh, please report to me soon with good news, sir. Fear not, madam. In a day or two, I shall be contacting you with a heartening report, I'm quite sure. So soon? Oh, how splendid, Mr. Holmes. Good news should be delivered early, I always say. If you would be so kind as to leave the photograph of your husband in my possession. Thank you. Now allow me to show you the door. I can't thank you enough, so you've been simply marvelous. You know, I think it's every time, Hurley. But how do you come out with such nonsense? Good news in the day to... Are you sure? I can't be sure, of course. But then I didn't swear on it. I merely gave the good woman some hope. I hope to be able to give her good news, one might say. After all, the rent must be paid by the end of the day tomorrow. If by that time I successfully located Mr. Vigil, we shall be mutually relieved. Would you agree, Mr. Naruhodou? Don't look at me with those pleading eyes. Well, my dear fellow, did you hear the details of the case? Yes, my hearing is surprisingly good, actually. Excellent! And what did you make of it? Well, I was surprised to learn where her husband worked at Barclay Prison, I mean. Ah, so you noted that. Of course, especially with the mention of Lowgate Cemetery. Lowgate Cemetery is at the rear of Barclay Prison. So it was renowned among us students at the university for being haunted by the ghosts of the condemned convicts. Barclay Prison is where the notorious man was incarcerated, the professor. And now a warden from the prison had mysteriously disappeared, it would seem. It was very peculiar. Indeed, but nothing you can handle, I'm quite certain, Miss Naruhodou. I'm sorry? Run along to the prison and see what you can glean, would you? It's the prison governor you want. No doubt this man is simply worried. But Aren't you going to go yourself? Surely you needn't ask. I can't possibly be seen without this hair. Oh. But didn't you go to Limesville with that hair? That was quite different matter. So I leave it in your capable hands. Now if you excuse me, I'm rather busy. I'm trying to change back my hat. Okay, toodaloos. Of course you are. Okay, so that means we're going to go that side then. Barclay Prison is on the outskirts of London, backing to the lonely burial ground. It's four high out the window. Oh fuck, sorry. I pressed too soon. Its four high outer walls loomed quietly before us in the fog. Having requested a meeting, we were shown to the governor's office in the watchtower. What the hell is that guillotine clock tower? I mean grandfather clock, sorry. A toucan. This place is full of haunting creatures. I can't even remember the last time that civilian was down here. Doctor, I knew Dana want to talk and then make back to me. Did you know who I am? I'm the Governor Barricade. Oh, yes, it's a pleasure. I'm Minister now, the defense lawyer. An instant idiocy. Does it mean? Yes, I'm the visiting student of the law from the Empire of Japan. Japan? Did you just say Japan? Yes? Well, there's no any of your kind here, laddie. Maybe you should try the prison next door there. I didn't notice another prison next door, sir. It's a phrase you say get lost. I don't know. Anyways, we can ask some questions about. I didn't like to be so direct, but I'm no intention of speaking with the likes of your suspicious looking Easterners. Go away. Look at my back. Now get off my hair. So as soon as he finds out that we're from Japan, he reacts like this. Ugh, jeez. That surely means... I think it's because of the professor case. You think so? 10 years ago, Genji Azogo, also known as the professor, was incarcerated at this prison. And then, after his execution, he apparently re-emerged from his grave in the cemetery behind the prison. I might have known. He was sniffing around a Buddha case. Aren't you? Your agents, eh? Part of the professor's grave, I have no doubt. No, not at all. We just get going, we go. I'll be right, punch your lights off. We're going. Clearly, the ghost that killed still haunts this place. We're not gonna get anywhere here. Okay, unless we can somehow prove that this man there's nothing suspicious about us. Elder Caden, what are you thinking, Mr. Susato? I'm pretty sure the name came up in the conversation recently somewhere. I was wondering if whoever mentioned him might have some idea to help us. Come to think of it, I have the same feeling. Well, I think I know who. Strongheart? Hey, Strongheart, can I? No. Do you know this guy? Don't. Okay. How do you do? Okay, so this is not it. Hey, maybe we can talk to him. That's Professor Mikotoba over there. Oh, hello you two. I was just taking a moment to catch up on the world and now Empire. Where's Judge Jigoku? Yes, he's not the relaxing sort. He's taking himself off to pay respect to all the legal bigwigs. Having only just arrived in the country today, goodness, he's full of energy. Professor, you mentioned something before about how you know about the prison governor at Barclay Prison. Oh, Governor Carter, do you mean? So it is the same man. Father, we must speak to the governor. But he refused to talk to us. He said we were suspicious Easterners.
Well, I'm sure if I accompany you, it would be a very, very different story.
Oh, would you? That would be wonderful if you have time now.
Sadly, as you can see, I'm very busy at the moment.
Busy drinking coffee on a comfortable settee?
No, I haven't read a lot of prepared for tomorrow, you know?
Oh, sorry. I didn't say out loud, did I? Your Mikotobas are alarming good at reading people's thoughts. How could it be that you now those are alarming bad at hiding your thoughts?
Let's not fall on that. I have an idea.
What's he writing on the piece of paper?
Here's a letter to introduction to you. Hopefully when he sees my name, he'll change his tune.
Ah, thank you. The letter of introduction has been written and entered to the podcast.
Good luck then.
Yeah, thank you. Professor Mikotoba has a wonderful handwriting, doesn't he? This dark-suited young man is not the least bit untrustworthy. Is it just me or does this make me sound extremely untrustworthy? I do wish he at least called you a nice gentle young man. I'm really not sure it would help. Hey, look, it's Blackbird Line. Oh, it looks like this is some sort of steamship ticket. The SS Ground Sea, First Class Cabin 001, Yokohama departure 11th September, London arrival 1st November. Ah, that's the boat that Professor Mikotoba and Jigoku came on from Japan, isn't it? Yes, I think it's called ad-libbing on the north coast of France for the night before finally arriving in Dover. The thing it's been almost a year since we arrived in Dover on the SS Boy. It seems a shame not to keep your ticket as a memento of the trip, don't you think? Yes, okay, I can have mine safely in my diary, and I keep mine in my wallet, so I have it with me all the time. Oh, well, how strange. Where could it have gone? Are you like all this on purpose, Mr. Naruhodou? Did I imagine it, or was that comment accompanied by a little sigh? Okay, time to go first. Okay, back to the prison.
Ah, you're back again.
I'll tell you to get off. Here you go. If you like to just cut your eyes, Governor Hayden.
What's this done? You cannot pull a wool out of me, you good for nothing Japanese student.
Mikotoba?
That's the young jock from the forensics laboratory.
That's Mikotoba. Yes, exactly, him. Oh dear, perhaps I should have seen something sooner. I'm Eugene Mikotoba's daughter, Susato.
Jinx! You're the young man's daughter? And you didn't take the mention that you're for?
I do apologize.
Aye, well, you best take a sit and can I offer you a cup of tea then, please? And then you forget to try on me. We can't cut biscuits. This what the?
Your father's influence is nothing short of amazement. I'm bitterly regretting not announcing who I was for the outset now.
There. So then, what can I do for you, Aaron?
Well, currently investigating a case. It's one of your wardens, you see. He's gone missing.
Missing?
That's right. It's surely been reported to you as well, being prison government.
I haven't done nothing of the sort. There's no missing person in my prison.
What? How can it be? It's Mr. Daily Vigil, it's your chief warden.
Vigil?
That's right. His wife came to us and asked us to investigate his disappearance. Let's skip the part about him only going missing yesterday for now. Clearly that means something to him. Would you be so kind as to tell us what you know of, sir?
Aye, of course.
Just in case I BS this thing. Government. Oh, come on, really? Ooh, would you look I'd rather have a wee handcuff bracelet? Oh, not anything. If I real handcuffs, no, neither of that is out shit. Lovely offer though. Ah, okay, so that is not. Chief Warden Vigil. We understand that Mr. Vigil is the chief warden here in the prison. Aye, that it was. Strong certificate of responsibility and dedication to the job. No doubt about it. He was far and watered. Sorry, didn't you say was? Aye, he doesn't work here no more. He left the job. Oh my. When was this exactly? That's the question. When was it aboard? It cannot be been much than last. Around 10 years ago now. What? 10 years ago? He stopped working here for 10 years ago? Aye, as I my digital can, I've never heard of the fellow's name at all the time. That's a worry if he had gone missing though. But Mrs. Vicious made no mention of it. I think perhaps Mr. Naruhodou, that his wife simply doesn't know. I think she's unaware that he no longer works here. Governor Kaiden, can you tell us what happened? Why did Mr. Vigil give up his job here? That's important, is it? Yes, I believe it may be. What are you thinking, Mr. Naruto? I can't help wondering, given that it was 10 years ago, which was exactly when the professor was being held at this prison. So Mr. Vigil actually resigned from the position of chief warden 10 years ago, you're telling us? What happened to make him leave the job? In actual fact, he didn't leave the job willingly. He had no choice in the matter. You mean he was dismissed? Look at my bag. It was after a particular walk. Sorry, a walk? Aye, that old word for in here, a walk into gallows. An execution? It's the job of the chief warden to prepare the gallows tree and oversees the execution, you see. Only Vigil did mention something unthinkable on the last walk he was manning. What did he do? I'm sorry, but I cannot reveal that information. But I can tell you that it's very rare for a chief warden to be relieved of his post. But why wouldn't Mrs. Vigil know about it? She appears to be under the impression that her husband still works here. I wouldn't gain anything about that, I'm afraid. Can you perhaps answer one more question about the circumstances of his dismissal? And what would have that be, Hen? That last occasion that Mr. Vigil was responsible for overseeing, was it by chance the professors? My thoughts exactly. I'm sorry, but I really am. But I have no liberty to answer that. I'm sorry. I see. Never mind, sorry. Okay, Professor Mikotoba. My father came to Britain all those years in order to study forensic medicine. But you see to have been well acquainted. The dead room, the prison, and the cemetery have lots to do with one another. After all, the dead fresh corpse for the forensic research. Did you know, Ken? Yes, I can imagine. I mean, I see one of that forensic nearly tried to butcher me. The advancement of medical science isn't always practical platable. Your father worked in the laboratory just on the far side of the graveyard, in the basement of St. Sinners. It's still in use there. St. Sinners. That's come up before, I'm sure. Yes, that's right. We've been there. Mikotoba and I have to use the to write in the carriage together and negotiate terms for more fresh materials, I suppose. Aye, and we use this here for hours and gab on about dissection and all sorts. Oosh, it takes me back. Offer a pot of tea and a plate of cup biscuits, of course. How charming. He was a good fellow, your father. Reliable and dead set on his work. But I'm afraid
I'll never understand you Japanese. Because of Genshin Osoge, I suppose. Well, I cannot tell it to anything else. Thank you so much for your time, Governor. Oh, one more of four be your way. Well, I'm sure I have it here somewhere. Ah, found it. Here, take it as a wee souvenir for your visit to the presence. What is it? That's Virgil's dismissal notice. It's 10 years old now, of course. Oh my, are you sure? Alright, if it's no trouble for you, it's not the origin of mine. Virgil dismissal notice me. Thank you very much, sir. Governor. Okay, I need to check this first before. Chief Warden Daily Vigil is relieved of his post with immediate effect for having violated Clause 132 of Her Majesty's Code of Conduct of Prisons. 25th of July. All rights to redundancy pay and other financial benefits are fully revoked. Reason to dismissal: aiding and abetting the escape from this prison of convict blank just prior to his execution. Details of his escape are still being investigated. Full cooperation with inquiry will be expected. Prison Governor Barry Hayden. Additional note: in this incident, indication that the jailbreak plot was conceived prior to the convict's incarceration. It is believed that convicts engaged in some sort of form of negotiation with prison staff in order to seek assistance. Full discussion must. Yeah, I think. Well, in return, do me a favor and never come back here. That case is closed. Well, I think we have to return to Baker Street for the time being. Yes, I agree. We need to report to Mr. Holmes with what we found about Mr. Vigil. What will you tell Mr. Vigil, I wonder? Wait, if this is Twisted Valve, would it mean... I have a feeling I know what case is about. I'll come back to that if we come to cross that part. Hey, is that Toucan? I know we have opportunity here now while the government's away. Mr. Naruhodou, you could be in prison if you were caught. That's a good point. Perhaps not then. Oh, come on, really? Anyway, let's go back this. God damn it. Number Shomles. We're back! Hello, you two. I thought you'd be back before long, so I baked some scones so as to. Ah, so that's when the delicious got. Meaning is my favorite. Oh, you returned to blue. You returned a good deal sooner than I thought expected. Yeah. Hello, Mr. Shomles. Hello, Mr. Shomles. Say nothing. Your thoughts are written all over your face. In case it turns out that maybe it'd be very advisable to test my hair color restoration tonic before applications. Oh my! Pray tell me what of our warden friend. Have you garnered some new information? Oh, yes. Something very surprising, in fact. Though it's not a patch in your hair, to be honest. It most certainly isn't. But still, we discovered that. Holmes! Oh, wait, what? What? You have everything, Holmes. This is more important. Gina? I can't admit it. Wait, whoa, she's fine. What happened? Clearly a very grave matter indeed. For Miss Lestrade made no mention of my hair whatsoever. It's the boss. What do you mean? Inspector Grayson? The boss is... He's... What the... No! Come on! He's dead? How? They killed off Gregson? They found his body shot with a pistol. What? But
Inspector Grayson, he was murdered? No, not Grexy.
Come in, my dear girl. Tell us the whole story.
Are you serious, Gina? Inspector Grayson was.
Was really shot?
I don't know much about what happened myself yet. They're still in there investigating the scene.
Where did this take place?
A little rented house room in a building full of flats on Francisco Street,
The outskirts of town, nowhere near his home. He was perhaps investigating a case then.
The thing is, no one at the yard know nothing about no case around there.
Oh, how strange.
The boss was. He was good to me annoying up to yet, but one day I was going to show him. I'm going to show him I'd be a proper detective.
Should we tell her that your boss is going to take you to France?
Oh, Jeannie.
So who did this? Do you have any idea who the culprit is?
They got him already.
Already? They caught him to shoot it so soon? Oh, come on. We're going to defend our Sogi. Oh, god damn it. I'm thinking that the reason I'm having feeling that he gone missing is because of that guy.
The witness reported something awful was going on, and the boys got straight down there and took care of him.
Who? Who's awful person? Please don't tell me something so please.
I still can't believe it.
Oh god man, it's really Sogi. Damn it.
Gina?
Come on, say it out.
It was the
Oh! Seriously?
Van Z's got arrested.
The what the fuck? You don't mean they arrested Lord Van Zee for it?
That's right. The Ripper block's gone and shot the boss.
No, Lord Van Zee's. Are you quite sure, Mr. Lestron? It's Baron Von Zeeks that the police have arrested.
I saw him with my own eyes in the interview room at the yard. I don't believe it. But there were witnesses, and they all said it was him.
So you mean there were actually multiple witnesses?
They heard a gunshot, apparently. And when our lot got out of the scene, there was only the boss and the Reaper block in the room.
But there's no way the Lord Van Zees would have taken Gregson's life. I just don't believe it.
I don't believe it either.
Thank you for informing us, Miss Lestron. This really is the most terrible news. I'm dreadfully sorry.
You what are you saying so for? You did nothing. Well, anyways, I'm taking a cab over to the scene right now. Please come at all as soon as you can. You gotta help.
Oh god. Is the detective's lot appeared wherever some sinister spot has unfolded. Little wonder we all look haggard. Sometimes these things are almost too much for the nerves. Mr. Holmes? What use is there to be a great detective? I fear to see something like this coming. How could I let this happen to Gregson? Mr. Naruhodou, I shall leave at once to begin my investigation. Of course, yes. We will too. It would be helpful if you can talk to Mr. Ripper and see what you can do. I'm sure you were intending to do so anyway. Until later then. Inspector Gregson's dead and Lord Van Zeek's arrested. Oh god.
Bruno, Susie. I caught you a handsome. He's waiting outside.
Thanks, Cyrus. Shall we, Mr. Susato?
Yes.
A new location. Where should I go? But I think
let's go to... I know I want to go to prison, but I want to check here first. No, we're going to go here first. Room on friends... What the hell is that picture? This really is an outlet all the way London, part of London. I doubt many people find the way back to the back street. So this is thus within rented old room where is what happened there. Yeah, I know it's not supposed to visit Lord Van Ziggs, but let's check out here first. Because I think this is where we need to see first. So this is where Inspector Grayson lost his life. Yes, and the police are already hard at work investigating, it seems. I don't see Mr. Holmes anywhere though. Perhaps his investigation had taken him somewhere else. Oi, what do you think you're doing? Yeah. Every one of these drawers has got to be taken right out so you can look underneath it all. I want this space is cleanly checked, and don't forget to look inside the chimney stack. Blimey! Aren't you allowed to never go out of the house looking for dough when the owners are out of town? Gina's obviously got some unique investigating skill techniques she wants everyone to adopt. Oh, so you turned up at last. Mind you, I ain't be here on myself. Hello again, Gina. Shomles has only just left. You're lucky your message. Oh, wait, he's here? Already and left. He went practice prancing around in here, pointing at soft light flickering, and that's all. He isn't just scupper. We nearly tried to kick him out of the scene. Oh, finished investigating already, you mean? Yeah, he didn't even stop saying nothing to no one, not even me. Gina, would you mind if we investigated too? Listen, Otto, you're a lawyer, right? Yes. Why? Well, you're not thinking of trying to help the Reaper plug, aren't you? Oh, poor Gina. She's never going to forget, is she? The child will haunt her forever. Gina, if you don't mind me saying, if Lon Vinsky really is responsible for this crime, he will be duly and fairly judged in the court. I suppose you're right, yeah. Go on then, although get investigating. I want to know if the truth about what happened here really. Thank you, Gina. Further, let's Inspector Grayson. Gina, what was Inspector Grayson doing here in the first place? That was what I want to know. It's what? Awful year since I got out the clink. That's when I decided to give up me diving and become a detective instead. Oh yes, Mr. Shomles twisted the inspector's arm to agree to take you on an expense, didn't he? Oh no! I don't know. Okay, Grayson, I want you to take Gina's. What? No, I'm not gonna. Not even pizza chips. Now, come on. Now, could you let me hold your arm for a while? What are you doing? Oh no. Okay, I promise. You swear to my life that you. Yes. Okay. Well, fine. Damn it. Something like that thing anyway. Anyway, the point is, I didn't really know much about the boss then. But it turns out, he's a bit of a legend at the yard. Goodness, really? They say he managed to solve some really tricky case, just like that. He did. Yep, and ever since on, does started to go out and solve investigation, but always is on his own. No one else at the yard knows what half of the case is working on apparently. That's not how it's supposed to work, is it? So what was it the legendary inspector doing in this dingy little room like this? I know he had a lot of respect for the Reaper at all, and look where he landed in. Respect for the Reaper, in what way? I didn't say. I take my all of that fella where his words. Not how the general public feels it. Most people are terrified of the Reaper. Yeah, the boss says it's exactly why he respected the bloke. I didn't realize Rexon held the Reapers with such high regards. He said something else to me that I didn't need to worry about the Reaper, cause he only goes after people what are bad. It did kind of set my mind at ease when he said that. Right. What is this place then? Does anyone live here? Apparently it's being rented by some cove called Hughes Boons. Oh, the man with the twisted lip. Oh god, I think I know this story. I think that everything is going to be coming to light. You goons! It's a sort of here today, gone tomorrow name, isn't it? Yeah, it's what we call an unidentified person. We haven't been able to get in touch with him. I see. Well, judging from the appearances, I have to say this place hasn't been lived for a long time, if ever. Right, all the lads of the yard pile up are now to get stuck into the investigation. But there's so little here, no one knew what to do with it himself. I do wonder. Yes, Mr. Susato. Well, could it be that this Miss Hugh Goon is in fact Mr. Inspector Grayson himself? But how could that be? Well, if he was investigating on his own, it's quite possible that this was in fact some kind of secret office of his. I never considered that. Nice work, Zeus. We actually followed a line of inquiry like that ourselves. You are? If you look around the room, you see there's a few things that hint at it. We should really investigate this place in detail. Incident. I see, that's where the poor inspector was found. Over there. Yeah, that's right. They say it was a single bullet what did it in. Apparently the bullet went right through him and stuck at the candle tree on the wall. Oh yes, it's blown one of the candles apart completely. And the gun it used on the floor is the Reaper in it. No denying that. What? Really? How do you know that? Take it easy! I don't know what to do with myself when you stare at me with them big white eyes. Ow. What is the word I heard? I don't know what much about guns myself. But there's some big whack lawnmower or whatever it says. I want to ask him. A big whack lawnman? Is it? Anyways, friend Susie runs along under that window there. There was some street sellers just outside who heard them gunshot. Oh, but I don't recall seeing anybody outside. Yeah, they were all being taken around the yard for questioning, that's why. We're talking about the yard's legendary inspector here. After all, they've been getting a grill. Do you think we might be able to speak to those street sellers also? I doubt it. The lads of the yard will just want to know what you're snuffing for and you'll be up for grilling it. Oh, so we can't interview with the witnesses then. Shame. Okay. Up there. Time to do some investigating. Well, I think I see a lot of viewers, but again, if you like this video, give a like and subscribe. I'll be doing some other games later on after this game, so, well, in future, so check it out. Anyways, moving on. Let's see. What? Yeah, this picture struck me. Oh, this photograph strand. I suppose it must be a picture of one of Inspector Gregson's family members. What? What's the matter? Your legs look like they're about to pop out your head. Yeah, look! Mr. Naruhodou, quickly! Wait! Is that every vigil? So why do I feel? It's every vigil, Runosuke. Of course it's me. We met her on this morning. It's Mrs. Vigil, yeah. Oh, I think I can piss it out altogether. If this one of the street urchins turns out to be having a twisted lip, it's definitely Daily Vigil. Yeah, if those who sorry about the bit of spoiler alert who never read the book, but I think it's almost come to pieces. To be frank, I don't think I ever been more stumped. I'm sorry to say, I have no idea either. The frame photograph had been entered. Okay. This looks like some sort of notice board or something, and it's absolutely covered in scraps of paper. Mr. Naruhodou, look. This you mean it's an autopsy report, isn't it? These are the case notes here and details of prison inmates. Yes, in fact, there are all sorts of documents that only a detective could normally acquire. What on earth went on this room? Some old newspaper cuttings. Ah, and this one here. Oh yes, the advertisement. I mean, to the red-headed oh goddammit. But why? What's that doing here? Whoever occupied this room was clearly interested in it for some reason. An empty fireplace makes the room feel even colder than it would be otherwise, doesn't it? It's a thick with dust. Look, I think it would be fair to say that it hasn't been used in a very long time. In other words, whoever lived in this room must have been extremely hardy in cold weather. Or nobody lived here at all and merely visited when the occasion arose. I wouldn't like to say which is more likely. No, that's right. It's one or the other. Okay, nothing here. Table, nothing here. Alright, moving on to the other side. Okay, this one here. The top of one of the candles is in this candle holder has been completely blown off. Yes, there's wax splatter on the wall behind. Look, I suppose if a bullet had hit it. It does seem likely that the bullet hit the candle, having first passed through the inspector's body. Ugh, now that the wax on the wall all looks like blood to me. I'll check out all that after a while. Let's see, this one. Ever since we came in here, I can't take my eyes off this thing. Oh, funnily enough, neither can I. It's a hairpiece, isn't it? It is. A bright red hairpiece, and I suppose the fact that it's right there next to where the body was found means we have to accept that Inspector Grayson wore wigs, does it? And in such a flame color red too. Yes, that's the color we come across very recently elsewhere, isn't it? Exactly. This is a vital clue, I'm sure of it. So I suppose this is where the victim. That's right, the rope is laid around the body to show exactly how it was found. Poor Inspector Grayson himself has already been taken away, and would probably be under some size scalper by now, if not for what had happened last week. From the shape of the rope, it would appear that the inspector was curled up in the ball. Are you feeling alright, Mr. Naruhodou? You've just seen a ghost. I know it's just a rope, but well, it could conjure up quite a terrifying image, that's all. Especially with that blood stain next to it. Oh, I do understand. In some way, what we picture in our minds can be worse than reality. Susato-san is strong though. She's taking this far better than I am. Excuse me.
Sorry, sir. Can't see a thing, sir. Too many tears, sir.
Right, perhaps I better leave you alone at your work then. This is supposed to be the murder weapon. And then... Oh my, it is real, I suppose. I think so. Guns are so rare in Japan. Really know very little about them. The only way to show myself, fire a shot! No. If I did that, I'd be looking for a skilled lawyer to represent me in court. So I have to say, well, just to ask someone who might know, I think. Oh, what's this? It would appear to be a little model policeman. It's very charming, isn't it? In a way, seeing as it's on the floor here, do you think it belongs to Inspector Grayson? It's a little hard to imagine Lord Lindsay's playing with something like this. It's only about 8 centimeters tall. It could be fallen out of someone's pocket, I suppose. I think we should record it as evidence just in case. Yes, I agree. It's rather delightful in a way. Excuse me.
If you're looking down onto us about the graveyard, Inspector, don't worry. We will look after things at the yard.
I'm interrupting some deep thoughts here. Somebody is very haphazardly nailed to the boards over the broken glass, haven't they? You couldn't even really call it a window anymore. Yeah, I think due to window tax. Wait, remember the windows in Nasumi's room that was totally blocked up with the bricks? This one does at least still lets you to. You could have said nothing more. I'm sorry, it's got you. I'm saying feel even more sorry for Mr. Nasumi now. Yeah, I think that's all of it. Okay, let me check the court records first. Ah, there are some black marks here, look. Yes! They look like some scorch marks. So perhaps the bullet struck the candle here, do you think? There's only this one candle and it's cracked in half, it seems. Yes, I think you might be right. Firearms are rarely used by criminals in Japan, so I'm afraid I'm not particularly knowledgeable about them. Yeah, nothing suspicious on the candle. Okay, next one. I've always wondered what the underside of the hairpiece looks like. That doesn't surprise me at all, Miss Naruhodou. You always wanted to see what lies beneath, don't you? I'm not sure that's quite how I put it. You must have a lot of burn lime to keep it in place on your head. So it doesn't get blown off the guts in the wind. I mean, that might be a little inconvenient when you wanted to take it off again, don't you think? Yeah, there's nothing. There's nothing out of place here, that's right. Gun! I suppose this must have been the murder weapon. Oh my. It really is, I suppose. I think so. Guns are so rare in Japan, I really don't know very little about them. Perhaps something more familiar with firearms could shed a little light on this thing. Well, firearms, we need the warden or somebody, but I think. Police figure. The helmet of this charming policeman appears to be a little worse for wear. I'm not convinced about the charming part, but yes, you're right. The head part looks like a bit fairly heavy man hat. Also, if somebody has enjoyed twisting it around and around for fun. Shall we try twisting it around and around too, for fun? Whoa, what the heck is that? Ah, what's this? It appears to be some sort of key. It's tiny though, it could be a key for a door, not at the size. So what is it for, I wonder? This looks like some sort of key. Yes, it does. A very tiny simple key. What's the little key doing inside a figure of a policeman in the first place? What's it for? Okay, I'm done here, so now I'm not sure where to go next. Well, we'll be right back. Let's visit the prison and see if Van Zeeks. Let's know I'm a local prison. So there he is, Lord Van Zeeks behind bars. So it's true, he really was arrested. He's sitting with his back to the wall, reading something. I don't think he's noticed that. Lord Van Zeeks? Did you bring my... Nah, fancy meeting you here. The last place on Earth I'd like to be, with the last person on Earth I'd like to see. I couldn't very well not come. We heard what happened that Inspector Clouseau was... Go home. There's nothing to do with you. Oh, come on. But... Forgive me, Lord Van Zeeks, but I must disagree. Inspector Grayson was very helpful for us on a number of occasions. We're in debt to him. At the very least, we owe him to find out the truth about his death. You must help us with our investigation, please. No. There's really nothing I can tell you. Are we trying... What were you just reading at the back of the cell then? Was there something related to the case? This? The yard isn't quite so caliber with this information as to share case details with a suspect. This is a letter from an old acquaintance. Oh, who might that be? Someone you know. Has it to happen? Albert Harebrain. Of course, yes. I keep forgetting they went to the same university. And I would like to read my correspondence piece, so let's get those over there, shall we? What is it you want to know? Strange. I mean, let's face it, Offensives never mince his words, but he seemed to know at least about something unusual here. Okay, what happened actually? Can you at least tell us the bit side of the story, Lord Benzix? What happened? How much do you already know? We know that the inspector was shot dead in a small rental room in Francis Gate, and they were found by the police when they arrived at the scene and immediately arrested. We were told that but there was nobody else in the room, and there was some witnesses that heard a gunshot. Then you're well informed, and there's really nothing I can add. The truth is, I don't know what happened myself. But the gunshot, obviously you didn't fire a gun, did you? I'm not in the habit of shooting the people I work alongside. I throw glass and bottles. I also heard noise, however. Before I had a chance to investigate, I was apprehended by the arriving officers, so he doesn't actually know what happened. If I might ask, what were you doing in the place to begin with? I don't need to answer that. Huh? After all, you are not representing me. He's going to need a lawyer though. Your defense. Who is going to be representing you in court, Lord Benzix? Obviously no one. Anyone other than you, I should have mentioned. Oh, come on. In every Ace Attorney game, that's not gonna happen. You're going to be defended by Naruhodou. Would I be right to assume that you have no representation as yet? Defense lawyers shies away from any trial involving the Reaper, and I'm sure you know. But this is different. In my career, all of the defendants I prosecuted, only 90 have ever been acquitted. Of them, 60 subsequently died in mysterious circumstances. The question will be asked now. Certainly not. I assure you, no defense lawyer will want to touch me with the end of a barge pole. But you didn't actually have anything to do with those people's death, did you? It's been 10 years now that I've been known as the Reaper of the Baby. Believe me, nobody wants to know the true identity of this killer more than I. However, it seems things may come to a head before I had the chance to uncover the truth about the death. What does he mean by that? After that trial, Professor Harebrain was supposed to go straight back to Germany, I thought. His letter for informing that he safely arrived at his home. I arranged his passage by sea and rail. It's a relief, I must say. He should now be beyond the reaches of the Reaper. Because the Reaper doesn't follow people abroad, you mean? Yes, so it seems. You stoop little Nippon's friend, for example. You told me he was keeping well in Japan when I inquired the other day. Yes, that's right. He's in a doctor now, happily working in Tokyo. So Professor Harebrain is safely back in Germany now? Yes. Yeah, now the only issue is Gina. So, it appears our conversation has run dry. There was a 2-second silence, that's all. But well, in any event, if you excuse me now, I wouldn't like to detain you. I was wondering, Lord Benzix, if you'd like, I'd be happy to advocate for you. You trust me, do you? Yes. I heard you speak many times in court. I've seen how you treat people. Though I'm quite sure that you would never have taken another's life. Just my feeling that can't be used as evidence in the courtroom of law, sadly. It's a very great choice of, however. I trust no one. What? Not the police, not the judiciary, and not you, Nipponus. But please. I have no intention of engaging your services. The chasm between us is just too wide and too deep, it seems. I appreciate it if you don't visit again. Then neither of us will waste any more time. Perhaps we need to dig a little deeper and find out more about Lord Van Zeeks and what happened to Inspector Grayson. Well, I can't go back to the thing, so why don't we go to talk to the Lord Chief of Justice to see how things are going there. Hey, I think we got it right this. You made good time. I took an express train back in London. What? I can hear a long strong hat, can you? Yes, it sounds as though he's talking to someone. Oh, Sogi, yes! Is everything in place? I had a private compartment on the train so I could check all the paperwork. It's... Kazuma-san! Hello. Ah, your timing is impeccable. It is? No doubt you have heard the sickening news about the Reaper's latest delivery. Yes. I'm sure you don't believe it, of course, though, Lord Strongheart, that Lord Van Zeeks could have done such a thing to Inspector Grayson. I believe it is only in the facts, and the facts in the case points to one thing. The unavoidable accusation of Lord Van Zeeks for this crime. We must bring charges against the Reaper for taking the life of our legendary detective. Oh no, surely not. It's truly regrettable situation. Tomorrow, the Forensic Science Symphony finally begins. At the very least though, we can show the world our justice system swift and equally processes. So does that mean the trial is tomorrow? Precisely. In fact, this is a fine opportunity for introductions. Kazuma. Ah, but of course, you're already acquainted, aren't you? Mr. Asogi here will be presented at tomorrow's proceedings, leading the prosecution. Oh, I kinda... So it's a reverse, so he's the one at the prosecution. That bench. Wait, what? Kazuma? As I'm sure you're aware, he is a very capable practitioner of law. Kazuma-sama, a prosecutor? I'm sure you can imagine that tomorrow's trial will be closely followed all over London. In fact, no. People all over the Empire will be watching closely to see how it unfolds. There is no salvation for anyone in the trials prosecuted by the Reaper or the Bailey, and now the Reaper himself must stand in the dock. Quite so. The public wants answers about the Reaper. Answers about how and why those who escape conviction subsequently die mysterious deaths. But Lord Van Zeeks firmly denies any involvement in such matter. And there has been a thorough investigation that have proven him to be innocent. That's certainly true, or it has been, at least, until now. Oh? No, tomorrow's trial will mark the start of a new chapter of our country's great judicial history. So, Kazuma will be prosecuting tomorrow. That's right, but he's a defense lawyer, Lord Strongheart. Accomplished young lawyer practitioners cannot pick and choose their role. And imagine what if it means of prosecution to know the strategies commonly employed by defense. A devastating combination, would you agree? Absolutely. And I've no doubt that Kazuma will be razor sharp as a prosecutor. But why Kazuma-sama? There are so many other highly skilled prosecutors in Great Britain. It was a personal request. I asked to be assigned to be the trial. You asked for this? But why? It all become clear tomorrow. I guess you intend to stand for the defense, don't you? Although, the Reaper appears to be turning down all offers of representation. I'm surprised that such personal requests would have been upheld. It seems unprecedented, quite exceptional in fact. You are right, Miss Mikotoba. Tomorrow's trial will be unprecedented and exceptional in every way. After all, the accused is one of the greatest prosecutors, the pride of our empire. It will be unwise to give the public a reason to perceive it as a judiciary closing ranks. So that's why you're happy to let a foreign hand under the prosecution. Ryunosuke, let's see how your skills have been honed after practicing law in these lands for so many months. Kazuma, I don't understand why you're being so hostile to me now. This isn't going to end well, my friend. Oh yes, we noticed there was a gun at the scene of Inspector Grayson dead. Do you know if it belongs to Lord Danzig's? That would be a question for the lead detective investigating at the scene. Well, the thing is, she wasn't sure, so she told me I should ask somebody higher up to my know. That's right, Mr. Naruhodou. Be direct. It's certainly a model that issues to all personal involvement in law enforcement, yes. Which includes prosecutors. I'm not sure you can imagine. In that case, it could actually have belonged to a victim. No, Rexon has his own gun in his person. How about Lord Danzig? He claims he's currently not in his possession. What? According to his story, he lost it. In short, he's more than a little suspicious, but just because the guns in question is the same type as the defendant is no proof that he's actually his. No, of course not. Nevertheless, the situation is grave for Lord Danzig's. What about Osogi here? I'm sorry for all the worry I caused you, but it will be alright now. Has your memory completely returned? Yes, completely. I remember everything, including what I was coming here to do. Right. Kazuma-sama, I cannot tell you how happy I am to see you alive and well like this. But how did you come to be here in London when you were suffering from amnesia? It was the voice. This past year, I've been hearing in my head constantly saying the same thing over and over. Go to London, that's what your destiny awaits. It was that voice that guided me here in London. I'm so sorry about what happened. Anyway, my memory might have returned to me, but there's something that won't return the way it was before. Huh? What do you mean? I'm a prosecutor now, so I'm sure our paths will cross again very soon. It doesn't look like we're going to glean much more here. Well, thank you very much, Long Strong Heart. Remember, tomorrow's trial will go down in our empire's history. There's much you could learn from the public gallery. Sorry to have taken up much time for you, but we'll see ourselves out.
Hold it!
Wait, what? Before you go, Ryunosuke. What is it, Kazuma? I just wanted to thank you. Kazuma-sama, what? You took my determination to heart and brought it with you over the ocean in my stead, and you carried out my role in perfection. You always were intent on studying Britain law in order to change our own justice system. It was your dream, and Miss Naruhodou didn't want that to die with you. Yes, but I had another purpose for coming here. Oh? I actually have a favor to ask, which is, this trial I will be prosecuting tomorrow. I'd like you to be there to see how it ends, right in front of me, as a defense counsel. Why? What? That's all about. I know you have what it takes, but Lord Danzig will never put his fate in my hands. He just said no to me earlier. On the contrary, You recognize your talent. He does. It's not easy to see behind the facade sometimes. Here, have a look at this. That's Lord Van Zieks and Inspector Gregson. In the photograph, he must have been taken some time ago by the looks of it. And who is the third person? It was displayed very prominently in the detective's office. In Gregson's office, you mean? Yes, what I'm trying to say is that if you really think you can trust the Reaper, you might find that some strange, straight talking makes him takes a different view. Take it. Well, I think maybe this is the way to talk to him. I don't understand. Why are you giving me to this? Just hurry and escape. Visiting hours at the prison are almost over. What are you doing, Kazuma? Well, okay. If he's... Well, let's go back to prison then. Oh, you're back again. But I didn't notice I were here. Lord Van Zieks is still reading that letter. We've been gone for some time, though. Either he's an incredibly slow reader or it's an incredibly long letter. I might be able to read English faster than he can. Shut up, I'm just pretending. I was intending to ignore you entirely. But I can't turn a deaf ear on such insulting nipperness. Oh, sorry. I didn't think you could hear that. I had a case notes brought to me in secret. I was reading them to pass the time. Yes, we heard that your trial set for tomorrow. Which is none of your business. So, have you found a lawyer? How many times I must reiterate the same thing? This is nothing to do with you. In other words, no. We were just talking to Lord Strongheart and the prosecution for the trial has been decided. I expected nothing less. Though I have no idea who it is. It's going to be Kazuma Asogi. Asogi! That made the color drain from his face. Well then. It seems I'm going to have to engage in conversation with you again after all. Yes. Before that, I need to give you this since... Oh, sorry. Lord Van Zieks, we came by this old photograph. Where'd you get that? It was taken when I become a qualified prosecutor. It was more unbelievable. I'm assuming it was long lost. Is it the man on the left there? Yes, that's my brother, Clint. The details of the it had to be real. Apparently, this picture was prominently displayed in Gregson's office. He had a deep respect for you, you know. Were you aware of that? Respect? That's nonsense. No, we heard someone attest to that very clearly, Inspector Gina Lasra, no less. Well, maybe once, yes. There was at one time things were like that. We were brothers in arms, jovial, discussing the future of justice and other such lofty subject matter. That was a nice glimpse of the past. I thank you. I feel as though I got a nice glimpse of the past then too. There was a glimmer of light in his eyes, a brief twinkle, and a sense of the true nature of this man known as the stone-cold Reaper of the Bailey. Asogi. 10 years ago, my older brother, who was the director of the prosecution at the time, was murdered, and the killer, as you know, was the visiting citizen from the Far East. Not a single day goes by and I don't curse the name of Asogi. Genshin Asogi was Kazuma's son's father. So what cruel twist of fate is this now? 10 years later, the man's son is to crucify me in some kangaroo court. I still don't understand why Lord Strongheart apprentices Kazuma to you. It's what he does. No doubt he knew of the young man's true identity from the outset. Well, what could I have been hoping to achieve? And let's not forget that it was only 8 days ago that Kazuma recovered from amnesia. Why would Lord Strongheart assign this child to somebody like that? Asogi. Her name is the very epitome of my pain. The pain that is you, Nipperness. Right, you hate to ask a lot of us Japanese. When you just been appointed as prosecutor when it happened 10 years ago, my brother Clint, the director of the prosecution, was hunting down a mass murderer. The so-called professor, assigned to the investigation as his partner, was certain visitors to the dispatch from the Scotland Yard, and that was Genshin Asogi. Exactly. I developed a deep respect for the man. He seemed noble-minded and chivalrous in extreme to me, but none of us saw the true nature of the man. So I lost everything when it happened. My esteemed brother, the people I believed in, and any sense of right prevailed over wrong. Oh, how awful. To avenge my brother, I prosecuted in Asogi's trial. He wouldn't ordinarily have been allowed, but I beleaguered the ascribed prosecutor until his consent. What do you mean by ascribed prosecutor? The man in charge of the case inquires, Lord Mail Strongheart. Wait, what? Lord Strongheart? He was highly accomplished prosecutor, but he agreed to relinquish the trial to me and act as my advisor instead. Since that time, he is the one person who I felt in debt. I'm sure you must have seen your zeals from the case and recognized your potential as a prosecutor. Anyways, time passed, but then earlier this year, who should arrive in London but you? And, of all things, as a lawyer. I felt your anonymous the first time as I ever faced you in the courtroom. You're obviously deep-loaded for Japanese. Tossing bottles, breaking chalice, yeah, nothing. I keep telling myself it was logical. But for so many years, the hatred has festered inside me. I could no longer control it. I can't understand why now. Now I know the history. But in the same way I've long felt the Nipponese to be the bane of my life, to Kazuma Asogi, I am the bane of his. The reaper who sent his father to the gallows. He is looking for revenge, and he's intended to take it in court tomorrow. Inspector Gregson. Gregson transferred to the Paris Police Prefecture had finally been arranged for the coming month, but he'll never make it to France now. It's a tragedy. Oh yes, come to think of it, he did mention something about that, didn't he? I wonder, does it happen often? Being transferred internationally, I mean, it's the first time I ever encountered it. Huh? Paris police welcoming an English detective is almost inconceivable. I can't imagine what kind of magic Gregson must have worked to pull that arrangement in place. It sounds like that mystery has even the Reaper perplexed. I'm afraid to say that we were very ignorant about Inspector Gregson's standing. We heard that he was considering something of a legend at Scotland Yard. Again, it was 10 years ago that he first made a name for himself by uncovering a decisive piece of evidence that exposed the professor's identity. If it wasn't for Gregson's single approach to the case, the discovery would never have been made. What sort of approach? After my brother's life was taken, the inspector pushed for full autopsy. Oh my, 10 years ago? Why is that so surprising? Autopsy was considered a desecration of the body at the time and rarely performed, and my brother was, of course, a noble. That made the idea even more unthinkable. But something Gregson had dug up in his investigation made him determined it was necessary. His powerful conviction somehow influenced the House of Lords, and as a result, I could avenge my brother's death. So, you must have had great confidence in the inspector's ability, and it's even more inconceivable that you would have taken his life. Inspector Gregson. Your gun. About the gun you used to shoot Inspector Gregson that was found at the scene. Ah yes, that's not mine. Really? But because common opinion seems to believe it is. What do you expect me to say then? Lord Stronghold informed us that you claim to have misplaced your firearm. As embarrassing to say that is, I'm afraid it's true. When did you lose it then? I do not know. Oh, I was issued with a revolver when I first became a prosecutor 10 years ago. I must have stolen it somewhere, I suppose. Or left it somewhere perhaps. You have something in common with Lord Van Zeeks after all, Mr. Naruhodou. A talent for misplacing things. Shut it! No, there's nothing to do with me. Don't drag me into this. Can we just focus on talking? Don't make the mistake of associating with me with this nippadis. Oh dear, the rift is very wide, isn't it? So it's not decided evidence, but it doesn't look good, that's for sure. Mr. Naruhodou. Oh, that's the first time he ever used my action. I've lost all confidence in my country's justice system. I don't trust the police, the judicial of all lawyers, but there's still one thing I'm willing to believe in. What's that? That which you see in the eyes of another across the courtroom. A simple determination to know the truth. Lord Van Zeeks. For the very first time we clashed in the Bailey almost a year now, I couldn't deny it, even though I dearly wish I could, and lost a lot of challenge thanks to you. Here is a loathsome Nipponese who had absolutely integrity as a lawyer. There are only two other men I know with the same look at the eye. My brother Clint and Jensen Asogi. The man he idolized and the man who betrayed his trust in the most heinous ways. When you showed me the photograph just now, it reminded me. You mean this photograph? Back then I was able to laugh. I was free of the shackles of mistrust that plagues in me. I look in the future with hope. Since then, I protected myself against betrayal by refusing to trust anyone. But at the same time, the mirror into which I sunk makes it almost impossible to breach. I'm so sorry. So, Mr. Naruhodou, I want you to believe that in that look in your eyes, I need to believe that in tomorrow's trial, will you advocate for me? Of course I will. I would be an honor. I'm so pleased, Mr. Naruhodou. Then my life is in your hands. For Lord Van Zeeks, that must have been an incredibly hard thing to ask, which is why I simply cannot let that man down. Tomorrow, the Old Bailey, against my old friend Kazuma. Well, it seems that this is the end of this part. Phew. And I almost thought it's going to be, going to end very badly. But anyways, for those who are still here, thank you for watching. If you like this stream and video, give it a like and subscribe. I'll still be doing other games after this game, so look forward to it. Anyways, without further ado, this is Andrew, signing off. Caught in recess.